Well, the good news is that we're going to be getting shiny Pokemon again for like the third or fourth year in a row. Oh joy. So, in today's video, I plan on talking about it and complaining about it. But before we do, let's roll that intro. Hey Gengar Gang, what is going on? My name is Ryan, this is the Analytic Gengar, and welcome to another video. In today's video, friends, we talk about the wonderful, happy world of shiny Pokemon, and how they are yet again making their way into the Pokemon TCG. Now, today's video will be primarily reactionary content to the PokeBeach articles outlining the special set that we here in the United States should be receiving in about June of 2022, and more importantly, some of the cards that will be included in that set. As always, the links to these articles will be down below, and before we get started, don't forget, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed today's video, definitely feel free to leave a like, and hey, consider subscribing to join the Gengar Gang and help our happy little community continue to grow. But with all that said, let's go ahead and jump right on into the article. So, here we are with the wonderful happy world of Pokemon, and shockingly, Sword and Shield has released a new set called Battle Legion over in Japan, right? So it was officially released, and you know, PokeBeach always does a great job of reporting on Pokemon sets as early as when the trademark is revealed. So they usually check trademark filings in Japan, they find out the name of the set, and then they usually are pretty advanced in terms of going ahead and getting information. So if you're a big fan of the international version of the TCG, or even if you just want to know what might be in the pipeline for us here in the States later on, definitely feel free to check out PokeBeach if you haven't already. I definitely recommend it as a great site for Pokemon TCG information and subject matter expertise. So, the Battle Legion set will now introduce a new type of card called Sparkling Pokemon. So, here is an example of what one of these sparkling Pokemon look like. So, to quickly go over the article, they are shiny, they have sparkling in their name, and they're basically very powerful basic Pokemon, so you can only include one in your deck. They are very similar in all of these capacities to the Shining Pokemon from Shining Legends. Now, sparkling Pokemon have a special texture associated with secret rares. They have a new reverse foil holo pattern that looks like cross-hatching, which by the way is a type of promo reverse foiling that I have seen before, and they also use a new K rarity, which likely stands for their Japanese name, which I am not going to attempt to pronounce in fear of becoming meme bait material. Battle Legion will be a special strengthening expansion set like 2020's Legendary Heartbeat, which introduced amazing rares. Each booster pack will contain 6 instead of the usual 5 cards, and the cost is also going up as well. So, the PokeBeach article notes that we'll be getting our special annual set in June of this year. So, that is actually a surprising and actually newsworthy event. Normally, in the English TCG, we usually get special sets in the fall of any particular given year. Think about when Celebrations came out, think about when Hidden Fates came out, etc., etc. Occasionally, we'll also get sets in the winter months, so right around February. Think Shining Fates, think Generations, and usually that coincides with a 5-year anniversary marker for the Pokemon TCG. So in 2020, and then also in about 2021 and in about 2016, when we were celebrating the 25th and the 20th anniversaries of Pokemon respectively. So in all meaningful capacities, we usually expect sets for the anniversaries in February, and then we expect special sets somewhere in the September-October bracket towards the back end of the year in the fall. So this is actually really interesting because we'll be getting this special set right in the middle of summer, which is really, really interesting. People have theorized that it's in part due to the way COVID and the global health pandemic forced Pokemon to shift the release dates of certain products, and then at other times it's really just hasn't made logical sense. But this could be indicative of just Pokemon also, considering, you know, a nice summer set. So that'd be pretty neat, something to look forward to in the middle of the year as opposed to the later half of the year in terms of the Pokemon TCG set. So, as a sneak peek to some of the cards we're going to get, you can see we have the Chandelure line, which is pretty neat. We have some, of course, new Pokemon V. Of course, there is the Sparkling Greninja and the Sparkling Hawlucha that we're seeing. So here are the cards. A couple things to note. Here is that crosshatch pattern that everyone's talking about, so this is where you're going to see that. The other thing to note is that very much like Shining Pokemon, or even Pokemon from the Shining Fates expansion, if I remember correctly, the Pokemon itself is going to have the texture on it. You can actually kind of see that texture coming through here if you zoom in enough. So right there you can see the lines and striations. So I guess their, you know, new attempt at shiny Pokemon is this. And then here is the Greninja. Obviously, same concept. You got the crosshatch pattern basically all the way around the card. And then the Pokemon itself is going to have the stamp pattern on it, or that texture that we usually see associated with secret rare cards. So that'll be pretty neat. And then that's really where this particular article goes. There are additional cards in there, so if you want to see some of the V-Star cards that we might be getting and things of the sort, I definitely recommend checking it out. And as you can see, actually, one thing that I did want to point out, almost immediately, someone's like, shiny Pokemon again already. And yeah, I kind of agree with that. Before we wrap up today's video, though, I did want to also show some of the additional cards that might be in that set. So in the English expansions, obviously we usually get numbers, right? So we'll get something like 10, 11, 12, and those correlate with the names of the particular set. So for example, Sword and Shield 1 is also known as Sword and Shield 0, 1, or Sword and Shield base set. So this 10.5, the reason we get the decimal and the 0.5 means that it's a special set. So Hidden Fates, Shining Fates, all of these sets were numbered in exactly the same way. And so we expect our 10.5 to release on June 17th, 2022. So it's another special set, you know, and it's going to come with a standard assortment of things, right? So we'll see the Elite Trainer box, mini tins, a V collection box, a premium collection box, a super premium collection box, and more. You know, so obviously there's not going to be booster boxes, which is always a pain in the neck with these particular sets, but it will be pretty cool because we will have the ability to you know, really kind of enjoy some of the really nice premium offerings. Obviously, we've seen some really neat premium collections come out for the special sets on screen, or two that are my personal favorite from both Hidden Fates and Shining Fates. So I do hope that, all things considered, Pokemon is really able to amp up their game and get this stuff out to every distributor, because I really would love to see this set. I think this set is going to be really, really cool. This set is also going to have the new team-up collections. So one of the things that I personally was debating in my head is whether or not I was going to be annoyed about this set. And I am annoyed about the shiny Pokemon because, again, we already have shiny gold Pokemon cards at the end of every base expansion that we've seen in the English TCG so far. So it's already a pervasive thing. And honestly, while I think it's neat and I think it's cool, I do oftentimes believe that, you know, they're just making use of shiny Pokemon everywhere nowadays. And this is already on top of the fact that we literally had Hidden Fates, Shining Fates, and a bunch of other Pokemon cards that have and feature shiny Pokemon. So it can get very tiring at times. At this point, I believe realistically they just went from shining to sparkling because they're just trying to find a new word to describe shiny Pokemon. And while I think the mechanic is there, and I think, you know, we can basically see through what is otherwise a very shallow attempt at disguising shiny Pokemon with a new coat of paint, I do think it's just getting a little tiring at this point. We literally just got done with Amazing Rares, which, you know, for what it's worth, were basically the same exact thing, except they weren't shiny. So now they're shiny Amazing Rares. So I thought that was a little annoying. But one of the things that I think redeems our special English set that we're getting in June is going to be what I'm going to go ahead and call these character rares. So I think this will be something where it'll actually be pretty neat to get your hands on this set, right? So currently we know about 30 of the character rares from VMAX Climax, which is an English set which is a Japanese set that we currently have no English equivalent for, will make their way into February's Brilliant Stars. The other 40, so there were 70 in total, could release in our May set or even save for this June set. So right here is where PokeBeach begins theorizing on what could possibly happen with this particular set. We also know Japan is getting a special set in February called Battle Legion, which will contain even more character rares. So honestly, there are a ton of character rares, and English will need to probably catch up and reconcile back, because again, bear in mind that Fusion Strike, last year's last set, was meant to be the sort of catch-all set. So all of the pandemic shifting that happened got reconciled back in Fusion Strike, where all of the cards that came out in Japan but we had not yet seen in English basically made their premiere in Fusion Strike. And there might be a few exceptions to the rule, but Fusion Strike was really meant to be a catch-all, which is why it was such a large set to begin with. So here we are sitting, and at the very beginning of 2022, we already see 70 character rares that need to be reconciled out into English sets. And then on top of that, we know that Battle Legion, the special set, will also contain even more character rares. So a couple things about these character rares. This is where I really think the Pokemon TCG is kind of amping up, right? So these are really awesome cards, and I think they're so pretty. I think they are really interesting looks at Pokemon. So you see you have like May with her VMAX Blaziken, which I think is awesome, and then you'll have like even some throwback regular Vs, right? So this is Silver and his Crobat. So I genuinely think cards like this will definitely redeem the set, even if it is a little corny that they're using things like sparkling Pokemon in there. I also don't think many people will care for the sparkling Pokemon. It's going to be very much an amazing rare situation, at least the way that I'm predicting it, where no one's really going to care too much if there's one of those in there, right? Here we see another version of the Marnie card that everyone loves. Here we have a gold Articuno, so you're going to get a few gold shiny Pokemon in there as well. And then you have some quote-unquote alternate art VMAX cards as well. So the reason I call it alternate art is because it's a slightly altered version of the Pikachu card that we saw literally across, I don't know how many different sets now, at least Shining Fates and Vivid Voltage. So yeah, it's one of those things where we're certainly starting to see Pokemon kind of turn around a little bit and try to figure out what it is they're trying to do. So to wrap up the article and the video, this will be the first set released in the summer, so that'll be pretty interesting. And then you see there's some additional information here about all of the different sets that have released either in the spring or the fall, and that they don't usually release in the summer. And then again, what I had mentioned at the beginning of this, it could have something to do with Pokemon's future releases or to mitigate supply chains like last year when a usual set schedule was altered by COVID. So with all of that in mind, that's kind of where we sit. Again, I personally think the whole shiny Pokemon debate is something that is a little too overused. The whole point behind shiny Pokemon, and I think back to the original video games because that's really where shiny Pokemon made their debut, was that there was a 1 in 4,096 chance on any given day of encountering a Pokemon that had a different color than its original color. So my whole argument is that it certainly doesn't need to be that rare in the TCG, but I think when every single set, or basically every single set, is introducing not only a gold shiny Pokemon, but now, every few sets is introducing an additional mechanic that includes a different type of shiny Pokemon, it begins to get a little overplayed, and I think that's where Pokemon might be harming themselves. I think it's a little bit of shiny Pokemon overload, and I think at this point they really need to kind of stop and let it kind of sit for a little bit, right? Maybe after Sword and Shield, don't do anything crazy with shiny or shining Pokemon and just let them be, right? Maybe skip it a generation or do it very secret rare like they did back in the X and Y, and particularly the Black and White era, where it was 1 or 2 Pokemon cards per set, and you just basically never saw them, right? There was no special set that came out that inundated you with shiny Pokemon, etc., etc. I think that's going to help establish a little bit more rarity to these cards, and I know that's ironic given how painful it is to pull cards nowadays from modern sets anyway, but I do think they need to load balance a little bit, because again, it's really tough to pull alternate arts when there's like 12 of them in a particular set, and yet for some reason we're getting shiny Pokemon every other week, and it can be a little bit much. But with all that said, friends, thanks again for checking out another video. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, feel free to leave a like down below. And hey, if you're not already, subscribe, like I said earlier, to join the Gengar Gang. Let me know your thoughts down below, friends. Super excited for the special English set, not excited for the shiny Pokemon. The character rares are going to be dope though, and I'm very excited to get my hands on a few of them because they look to be really nice Pokemon cards, and I really enjoy the artwork. So with all that said, thanks again for checking out another video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk soon. Peace.